What's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Jones and I'm back with another video. Today I'm talking to Air Jordan 5. I'm Maniére Burgundy Crush. So stay tuned.
Got a lot of things changing in my life. Hoping one day I'ma get it all right. Brother is engaged, about to start a new life. Yeah, I haven't had a chill day. Really wanna vibe, appreciate the moments. I've been creating, not scrolling. Mom and dad still support.
Alright, man, I'm back with another video. Now, before I get too deep into this video, y'all already know what to do. Go and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I made content about sneakers. Alright, so let's dive into today's video. Just like I said in the intro, man, we're talking to Air Jordan 5. I'm Maniére Burgundy Crush. All right, man, we're gonna be keeping things very simple over today. We're gonna be answering the basic old question. Are they drip or skip? Let's just keep it there. All right, so first things first, these are set to release July 25th. To the best of my knowledge, coming in at a retail price of $225, right? Okay. And of course, you know the kid glanced at the resale price, and right now look like they're averaging roughly about $250 and up, depending on the size, right? Okay. Now here we are, if I'm not mistaken, this is technically the third release, technically second, but I'm gonna go ahead and say third release of an Air Jordan 5 Maniére, right? Okay. With the first set actually dropping back in, I believe, in 2023, which they did that dust to dawn pair, which I believe the dawn pair is actually the black pair and the dust pair was like that white/greenish pair. Now everybody had their mixed emotion on those. I just chose to go with the black pair, which if I'm not mistaken is the dawn pair. Now I prefer those, and they did do some, you know, some slight little changes here, like how normally you have that big bubble on the side of the heel part of the 5. They actually smoothed that out, and of course they did their Maniére logos within like the netting and inside of the shoe. No difference when it comes to this right here. Only difference is this shoe is majority white. And I will say this, did Maniére get it right this time? And to be honest, right, and they even got the Maniére logo on the translucent bottom of the shoe. And I will say this, they're paying attention to each and every detail. Now, I don't think the box is like one of those like slide the sleeve off type of joint boxes or anything like that, but it still comes with like special packaging. Because I will say with Maniére, I'm gonna give them credit where credit is due. They always seem to not only just focus on attention to detail on the sneaker, because that's kind of how they came out the gate swinging, but they also make sure presentation is always there. So I'm giving them credit where credit is due for sure. However, with all that being said, this shoe, the Maniére 5 Burgundy Crush, is super plain Jane. And I know I'm the guy that always argues like, hey, sometimes the most simple is the best. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it simple, stupid, not calling anybody stupid, but that's just like a generic saying where it's like, you know, and sometimes you don't have to do much, especially when the Air Jordan 5 already kind of sells itself, so you got to bring in and bring your touch, but not do too much. But did they do too little on this one, right? Okay. Now I will say this, I have seen it in the Discord and I think on the lives where pretty much some people are saying like, you know, it's time for them to switch up the colors a little bit. I'm gonna say no, because that Maniére color, which is like that purple/burgundy colorish that we're used to seeing, that screams them, right? That's their theme, I get it, but you still gotta bring something different to the table sometimes. And maybe the 5 silhouette is just not it. You know, they have done several 3s and it was time for them probably to do another 5. I do like that they keep like throwing them out there, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give them credit where credit is due, and I like the story behind it where they're always kind of empowering women. So I'm pretty sure like the sizing, they make sure they always put it in women's sizings first, and then you just need to know your size and convert it over, right? Okay, which they still do a full size like men's size fit on these joints too. So, and I've seen the advertising for these joints. So like I said, they always make sure their rollouts and presentation and attention to details are always good, but not necessarily every Maniére shoe is necessarily my favorite, right? Okay, in fact, I will say, to be fair, ever since they dropped that Maniére 3 back in 2020, the first drop, it's kind of been hard to kind of, you know, top that. And that's okay, you know what I'm saying? Look at it like this. If we're gonna compare it to hip hop, which I know I like to talk a lot about music, right? It's kind of one of those rappers who come out the gate swinging where you can say like, they're not technically a one-hit wonder, but their first album is always gonna be the best album, right? Okay, and that's okay. I mean, you put your all into your first one, and that is what it is. And now you gotta duplicate that. So to be honest, their competition really is themselves when their stuff drops. Because to be honest, they're in their own lane. So that's really not really a diss at all. I don't want that to come across as a diss. Like, their only competition is really them, because nobody else is doing what they're doing when it comes to the sneakers. They really stand out. Let me put it this way: when you see somebody with a pair of On My Years, you're gonna know it's On My Year. So if that's their goal, they're aiming for. So overall though, for the shoe though, for these Burgundy Crush 5s for the kid person, these will be a skip. Not a bad shoe, but if it didn't exist, I wouldn't miss it. But I do like that On My Year is staying consistent. So for the kid, these will be a skip. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. We'll be going after these on July 25th, retailing at $225. And of course, let me know if you think they're drip or skip. All right, man, I'm gonna get up out of this thing and stop rambling, man. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you know, consider subscribing. I make content about sneakers. Again, my name is Jeremy Jones, and thank you for watching, and I'm out.